This thing right here, it caught some fish today.
Oh, yeah.
We ended up with what, 45?
Yep,
Yeah.
in the area. Yep.
Yeah, right at it.
45. How many did you catch, Richard?
I know I caught one because I caught the last one. It took a minute, but I don't know how many I caught.
You were on, yeah, there's no telling how many you
Not
caught.
many. I was watching everything that was going on and filming a little bit, so I didn't catch fish.
He caught two 150s back to back.
Thank you.
This son of a gun, he was on his, just one more fish for what, 3 hours? Just one more fish.
I don't know. I got pretty numb after the first hour.
Well, y'all come up there and stole the damn fish.
Hey, listen. When this thing is over, I just want to tell you how brutal the weather was today, and for us to come out of there with 40-some odd fish, that was pretty amazing in my opinion.
Yeah, it was 72 degrees when I left the house this morning. And it's West Monroe to Farmerville is 20, 25 minutes from my house to
from
here.
Where you live.
Yeah, from
That's
where I
right.
live to here is 25 minutes to the lake. And it was 72 degrees this morning when I left my house with very little wind. And I called you and you're like, hey, we can't put it in at Jake's. It's white capping out here, baby. And I got out of my truck. Thank God I had this jacket. I brought a hoodie as well.
Well, I told you, don't leave the house without a jacket.
Dude, yeah, it was cold, but it was windy, strong overcast.
Yeah. I can tell you, we have a lot of great crappie guides in North Louisiana.
None as good as
great
you.
ones. But I can tell you this: we were probably the only ones on Lake D'Arbonne today. I'm not even joking. I can promise you, we were.
Because they're smarter than we are.
Hey, but
Well, yeah, there's a difference.
we got an ice chest full of them, that white gold over there, though.
It'll be some golden fillets, that's for sure.
Man, it was good. All right, so I want y'all to introduce yourself really quick. So to my left, take it off, baby.
Yeah, I'm
Big Wheel.
William Whetstone, a.k.a. Big Wheel, to some of the ones that have known me for a while. 47 years old. I'm a career firefighter, almost 24 years, and I'm also a licensed and insured crappie guide here on Lake D'Arbonne.
Awesome. Thanks for your service.
And
And, oh yeah, I'm also on the side a travel agent with my wife, Christy Whetstone. She's owner and operator of Travel Junkie. We book travel all over the world, so.
So you were serious when you wanted me to go to Jamaica with y'all.
Well,
I bet you he wasn't serious about you going with them, buying a trip through them, maybe. I don't know
Oh,
about
that's
going
what it
with
was.
them. You don't want to go
you know,
with
there
Big
are
Wheel
strings
out of the country.
attached. There's strings attached to everything. So.
We're talking about marketing, so like pictures and stuff. And I'm just
Oh,
joking.
okay.
We were just joking around. But yeah, thank you for your service for the
appreciate it.
firefighter stuff and also putting us on the crappie today.
Well, it took a team, I can promise you.
Yeah,
It
it
took
did.
all of us.
What about you, young man?
Steve Adams, I'm a retired oil field trash, and I've always had the passion for fishing. My dad instilled that in me. That goes back to Richard was telling me about when him and his dad was going up the creek, and my dad was sitting in the middle of the creek chewing on that cigar, catching those crappie with a cork and a shiner.
Look, he was pointing. Robert Lindsay, go around. Go around.
Yeah, and since I retired, I've been retired 2 years now, and I've enjoyed the competition, and not as much as competition, but traveling and meeting people. I've met some wonderful friends in the past 2 or 3 years just on the crappie trail. Past couple years, there was 4 different trails. I fished all of them there for a while. I went with some friends. We went to South Carolina. We fished championship there for Crappie USA. Been to just about everywhere you can go. I hadn't been to Eufaula, and that I'll go there this year with Crappie Masters. But this year it's kind of thin on the national crappie trails, but I'm sure we'll talk about that before long. But other than that, I just have a blast fishing, just like we did today. I mean, what more fun could you have in a 40-mile-an-hour wind, freezing your butt off? I mean, that was fun, though.
It was, look, you looked at the original plan was to go get some footage, couple of hours. If we caught a fish, we caught a fish. If we didn't, And then, thank you,
You're welcome.
Mother. And if we caught a fish, we caught it. If we didn't, we didn't. But if we got the footage, that was fine. But then after we figured out, hey, we were going to catch some fish. Look, if y'all didn't say, come on, let's go, we'd still be out
We
there.
did for 3 hours.
One more.
One more. And I'm telling you,
They
nobody's
weren't-
complaining.
They weren't serious about
No,
that.
we weren't serious. We just needed to cover our butts.
I
But
thought
that way
y'all
you could
pick it.
no, that way we could tell everybody else, like, man, we've been trying to leave for 3 hours. That way nobody's mad at us for being out there as long as we were.
we just had to catch one more. And then y'all caught one that right out from underneath us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
chances are, if even if you guys didn't show up, I probably would have been on the lake anyway, because you practice on days like this to get better on the good days. You know, so,
I told Richard that exact same thing. I said,
Yep.
Anybody can come out there when it's perfectly calm and ease around and slip up on one. But when you're fighting that wind,
Yep.
that's important to improve your techniques and skills, because 90% of it is boat control. Anybody can lower that jig down on top of him, but controlling that boat, and that's where a lot of these guys that the top fishermen, they fish every day.
Mm-hmm.
Every day. They're out there, rain, shine, wind, and I may be sitting here piddling around here in the shop,
Yeah.
Look, I know we're going to get to the meat and potatoes of it here pretty quickly, but the Livescope, we're really going to talk about that. We had one session of the podcast, and we talked Livescope, and it was mainly a room full of bass fishermen, and then now we're going to talk about the crappie side of it. But aside the fact of the Livescope, you had to figure them out anyway. You had to find them to put the Livescope on them, in my opinion. But we looked at later this mid-morning to later in the afternoon. We found the contours on your mapping system, and from where it was shallow to a little bit deeper to the deepest. They weren't in the deepest, but they were in the middle. And every time we rode back up on that shelf, boom, and there they were again. And that was pretty neat to have figured that out. You had to figure out a pattern or
that's
whatever.
exactly. We had a spot at the end of that deep that every time we pull up there, there'd be 4 or 5 fish sitting in that one contour. And we went on by it. We ran out of fish. We come back, there were fish there. The only problem was it was looking at a dead north straight away where the wind was kicking our butts in there.
Yeah.
But we caught fish every time we went through there. And that's where Richard pulled up there, and he hung a 150, and fight was on. He had that. I think he was using that Dobbins rod that time, that 14-foot Dobbins.
Yeah, I saw him over there. He had that thing bent several times.
Oh,
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you, for the people who are used to, like I am, white perch fishing, and you're jigging around cypress trees, and a long pole is 10 foot. When you put a 14-foot pole and you fish all day long with a heavy 14-foot pole in the wind, you got 14 foot of something that the wind's going to catch. I'm telling you that, my right arm, I can't write my name right now.
What else? What else was you telling me you learned today about cypress trees?
Oh, well, I was going to kind of keep that a secret, but I grew up fishing live cypress trees. It had a root ball and that kind. I know that sometimes these white perch they'll go around and around these trees. You catch one time, and you come back and you'll catch another one. They just keep the dead snags that we caught fish on today. Really surprised me. I was impressed by that, because there's a lot of them I'd have passed right on up to go fish that live cypress tree, and I'd have missed several fish on one
Well,
snag.
and that's the deal with forward-facing sonar now. It's debunked a lot of myths that we grew up
Yeah.
knowing, that we were taught from our grandfathers and dads. Not saying they were wrong. We just assumed what was under the water and what was around a tree or not around a tree. And, getting back to what you said about Livescope, you still have to have that old school mentality about where to fish, how to fish, where to go, what are the fish doing this time of year. So it's debunked a lot of things that we thought we knew, but still a lot of things that still come into play with the new technology. So it's old school meets new school, and you just kind of combine the two.
And look, I'm going to tell you something. On that, listen to those boys talk about that Livescope with the bass deal. Just because you have a Livescope doesn't mean you're going to fill the boat up. That thing doesn't make them bite. We saw that today. They come up to
How
it.
many times have we heard that? That's people think forward-facing sonar, you're going to kill the lakes, catch all the fish. You are going to catch, I'm going to say, more fish regularly. But I know with me and Steve, we fish all the time. But I don't know about him, but I don't keep near about the fish I used to before all this technology come out. I throw back 80% of the fish I catch.
Because you catch more than you used to catch.
Yeah, we're just going to practice. We're catching
some
fish for fun. We're throwing the fish back. So I think there's it kind of equals out, in my opinion. Now, some lakes do succumb to the pressure of Livescope, smaller lakes and ponds or whatever. You can fish them out. You can hurt them. I believe that. But the thing now is we're targeting bigger fish, especially tournament fishermen. So that's kind of the debate, going along with it. But, man, the way these fish reproduce and many eggs as they lay and as fast as they grow, Lake Darbone is one of the healthiest lakes that I know of in this area. It's been proven time and time again. She grows big fish. And now it's regulated, 7 over 12 inches you can keep. Anything over 12 after that, you have to throw them back. Mm-hmm. So you can keep 43 under 12. So that's protecting a lot of your bigger fish now, but we do live in Louisiana. You're going to have outlaws that's going to abuse that, of course, but that's helping. So I think with the change in technology, you need a change in regulations and slot limits on some lakes too. But why not? I mean, we can go out with this and catch a mess of fish any day we want to, So I don't have a problem with it.
Well, William, when I used to Livescope, when I was getting started back into crappie fishing, I carried an ice chest with me. And if I caught it on Livescope, it wasn't an ice chest.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I went out many a day and I shot for 37 crappie. And that's what I kept.
Well, if the limit's 50, I wanted 50.
Yeah.
I'm still at that point now.
Yeah.
I'm mad I got to share these 45 today with Richard.
Oh, come back tomorrow and we'll get your 45.
Yeah. Oh, really quick. This is your first time on the podcast.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, the one of the two men that make all of this possible is sitting right here across from me.
No, we don't make it possible. No, it's always possible. You're the one that makes it possible.
He wants something out of me. That's why he's trying to butter me up.
Well, it don't hurt.
Yeah, you're right. Richard Albritton, one of the two owners at SpottedDogSportingGoods.com.
Hey, thank you.
Yep. Hey, look, speaking of Spotted Dog, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure y'all can see this. This dude is a limited edition. Still trying to talk Richard out of it. I'm just going to take it in my truck and don't say anything. But limited edition Mossy Oak Bottomland Turtle Box. This thing jams. It floats. Lasts 20 hours. It's completely waterproof as long as the back latch is locked.
Listen to me. Those showed up at the store the other day. And I said, what in the world is a turtle box? Of course, Ryan said, man, it's the hottest thing out there. I said, well, let's see it. What is it? It's a speaker. I said, it's a what? A speaker. A speaker?
Bluetooth to your phone and play music. Or the Spotted Dog podcast.
After you put it on Facebook, it's not just a speaker, evidently, because it had a lot of attention in a very short period of time. So yeah. I'm old, but I catch on.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's just like the little small speaker you had down in your boat.
Oh, yeah.
There's nothing wrong with those, but I don't know where that one came from. That may be a nice, like, JBL or something like that. Me, I typically buy the cheap ones off of Amazon just because I'm going to put them in my boat. I'm going to spend $40 or $50 on one, and it's going to last about a full fishing season, about a year, and I'm going to have to throw it away because it's water damage or something like that. You ain't got to worry about that with these.
Well, let me tell you, if you want to see white perch scatter, turn some volume on that.
No, I think that's why we caught so many.
I think not. That
Steve, we could actually use a turtle box at our crappie tournaments. Have walk-in music when we're walking up to where our fish, carry the turtle box too, playing, your walk-in music, kind of like they do at a baseball game.
Yeah.
Steve, I mean,
We might not win, but we're going to look good getting off the bus.
they have Dean Martin walk-up music. That's Steve's.
Oh, no. You haven't heard Steve jamming on the water, I can promise.
Oh, okay.
What'd you say you were listening to earlier?
Oh, John Party.
Yeah.
Me and Jack.
Yeah.
We don't get along no more.
When Steve's in the area, the whole neighborhood knows it.
That's awesome.
And you wear the crappie out too, don't you?
Yeah. No, whoever's behind me. William was following me the other day, and I had that going, and the whole boat it was like an alligator. You know how the ripples are? Mm-hmm. Well, I said, I ain't seeing no crappie. William said, I'm tearing them up back here.
Yeah, I could hear something behind me just. And I'm like, what is that?
He was waking them up off the bottom.
I was like, who is out here partying? I looked, no other boat but Steve. I was like, oh my gosh, Steve's up there having a time of his life. And I'm behind him just raking them in,
The reverberation brings those white perch off the bottom, kind of rakes them off the.
See, and that's something about crappie fishing that spider rigging, and a couple years ago, I knew a one man in Darbone that would go fish the bottom. I didn't know him personally. I know a lot of people around Union Parish knew him, but I pulled up to and seen him, and he's told me before he caught him on the creek bank on bottom, and that was Jack Jennings.
On the other side of the
on the Downsville side.
Yes.
And when I was spider rigging and first starting, we caught crappie out in the open moving, and that's where I thought. But since we've learned Livescope and started seeing what they do, they'll go bury up in that bottom, and you may see a little knot, and you may not see nothing. But that could be a 2-pound crappie sitting down there. And I've heard that sometimes they'll do it to warm their eggs, when the water's real cold, and different reasons. But they do get on bottom, and they'll sit dormant down there until the weather's right or they're ready to feed, and then they'll come up. So I may have to get me one of those damn hydro waves or something.
No, I got one. It don't work.
What is it? A hydro wave?
Yeah, bass fishermen use those. I think it's
what is it?
Speaker mounts on your trolling motor,
yeah.
and it reproduces sound of bait fish,
like a whale,
Yeah.
Well, I got one you can borrow, Steve.
Well, I learned two things. It must not work if he's going to let you borrow it. At least not for crappie. I learned two things today. One that you said we talked about. Me and Ryan were talking about earlier, and I don't remember if you commented or not, but crappie, they will go and dig themselves up in the dirt just a little bit on the mud on the bottom. Did not know that. I've never heard that before. But also, when we were pulling up on some of these dead snags, I mean, it looked like on the screen they were the size of your pinky. They were small.
Yeah.
But you'd get that feedback from the live sonar, that Livescope. But you'd go and shine it on them, and you'd say, all right, their head's right up to the snag, and there's their tail on the back. And drop that jig right down in between the fish and the snag. And I did not know that. But they'll nose up to it, to the snag.
Right up next to it.
And not only nose up, you can tell which side of the snag they're nosed up to, because most time they're going to nose up into the wind a lot of times. Not every time, but a lot of times they'll nose up into the wind. Or if the sun's out, they're going to be on the shady side. Now, we were taught that growing up.
Yeah.
Shady side of a tree.
They don't have eyelids, so they have to,
They, last year, the weigh-in trailer at our big crappie tournament, it was sun was shining. Or no, it was the first year, and Dale had a glass front container that he was putting all the fishing in afterwards to see if they'd lived or not. Well, the sun was shining in, and there was a shady side. Those fish lined up just like cows, just side by side with their head stuck against a wall out of the sun. I mean, it was a perfect row across there, those big crappie. And there wasn't none over there sitting in the sun. Every one of them was lined up. And that told me something that I'd heard, but I really, never could prove. But that is true, what William said.
That's pretty neat.
Yep.
And this morning, we kind of started off. We did something a little different. We had 2 boats. William, we start off in yours, and then Steve, when you came and met us at the lake, then we kind of divided up. But there's 2 different methods of fishing is what we witnessed today. There's 2 different, same result. You still both boats caught fish, but you may have had 2 different ways to going about doing it. And but one of the things that was on my mind, the wind was blowing. I really don't know how hard it was, but it was 20 plus. And then I know with a lighter sinker. First of all, for everybody that doesn't know, what we did, we had a jig, and then up above it, about 18 inches or so, we had a weight, slip weight. Now listen, I white perch fish in 6 foot of water and under with a jig pole. I don't use a split shot as the biggest sinker I've ever used as far as that goes, but I know they probably can't see that on that, but this is a barrel-shaped slip.
What they call a cylinder weight.
Cylinder.
Yep.
And we started off with a lighter weight, but the wind was blowing so much it put a big bend in your line, and it raises the level of your white perch jig. It's hard to get the jig down there to where the fish were, because this morning they were a little deeper than where we found them right there at the end. But William, you sat down and you put that heavier. What did this weigh?
That is a 1/4 ounce weight.
A quarter.
We started out with an 1/8 ounce.
1/8 ounce. Okay.
Yep.
And it, our line was a little tighter. We could feel the bite better, but this thing went straight down to them.
Well, if you're chasing too, Richard, and your trolling motor, if you got a lighter one, it's going to tend to come back towards a boat. And with the heavier one, you can run a crappie down and get it in front of him, and then where he can see it, and then he'll turn up on it. But if you're like this, then the boat's got to be completely over the crappie too. So I know a lot of the top fishermen will use up to a 1/2 ounce.
Sure.
We could have used a 1/2 ounce today.
Oh yeah.
Right there at the end when we first came over by y'all. Yeah, we could have easily used a 1/2 ounce.
And I can tell you the reason I put this on today. Tournament fishing, if you're going to be a precise angler, have the smaller weight with this, and your first drop is right on the fish. Okay, but when I take clients or take like you guys today, you're not knowing what I'm doing sitting over there with the trolling motor. So you're having to make these adjustments left and right, few inches, a foot, and you're naturally going to push the bait to the fish or be off the fish. So when you make those quick adjustments, when I was telling you left, hard right, whatever, that weight was actually trying to follow your rod tip a lot better than lighter weight. So it made your job easier.
I see.
Yeah.
Versus that lighter weight was, dragging back here a pretty good bit. Yeah. And by the time it got to the fish, they were wanting to leave.
Yeah.
But that heavier, that larger sinker was more visual on that Livescope also, I noticed. It had a bigger presence on the
It's also
on the
more
screen.
visual to the white perch.
And
sometimes it can hurt you.
How many times did we miss fish, or not necessarily miss them, but like that last one, Ryan, Richard's son, he just left. He had to run back to go to Louisiana Tech, back to school to get some stuff done. But how many times did he go and the white perch come up and it smoked that weight?
Well, I don't think that hurt us that much today because that water clarity is still a little dirty.
The wind.
You had a couple to go hit your lead though.
Yep.
Yeah, we had several.
Well, actually, we was using tungsten. It's smaller, but it's more dense. But here's the honest. If you related fishing to the Air Force,
Listen,
they driving up in here on us.
that's the National Guard.
Yeah, there's the Air Force right
Army
there.
National Guard right there. They looking for us now.
I don't know what that was, But if you related, if you wanted something stealth technology, you'd have no flat edges on it. So we're using forward-facing live sonar. So I think the future is going to be more like you was talking about, something that gives a better signature for a smaller object. And I'm not convinced that round is the answer. You know, something with flat sides that'll reflect the sonar back
better return.
Yes.
Yeah.
But if it turns that side, you don't see it at all. You got to wait
even
till
if it was
turns
like
back around.
a cube, imagine a cube.
Yeah, a cube.
Something.
Oh, I see. Yeah, like a dice.
And now I know somebody's working on jig heads. They're putting some flat edges on it.
Yeah, we not trying to cut you off, but we actually have those. They'll be coming in. They'll probably be in by the time that this episode airs. I'm certain of it. But the scope heads, those Buckeye scope heads,
That we talked about that.
man,
That's right.
those things, and talking about a very high return on the sonar, on the live scope, with a very small subject. That scope head, that Buckeye scope head, that's the best that I've seen. And they literally name it the scope head, but that's what it is. It's just a flat 3D looking head, but it's very flat looking, and it puts
for
off
bass fishing.
Yeah, for bass fishing.
Oh,
yeah.
I think they make them for crappie too. I think, but
Probably
I
so.
think so.
And I don't have a problem, or William doesn't have a problem knowing where we throw, but we do it a lot. But the guy that fishes just the weekend, that would be something that'd be beneficial to him.
yeah,
Being able to pick your bait up farther out and know where you're at. But the more you do it, then you can get to where you just see a glimmer and you know that you're left or right. And you can adjust as you come in.
especially when you have the two returns vertically from each other.
Well, I mean, a lot of times I use casting rods to these fish, and sometimes I'll cast a 1/32 ounce hair jig, 60 foot, and I can see it hit the water at 60 foot, you know, just a small return. But like he said, we kind of know where to look and what to look for, you know. I'm not saying I'm great at it, but I can see it.
I don't know. You're pretty good at today. But just to clarify this, in case y'all are wondering, this, as you can see, this is the little cylinder weight. But I'm going to borrow this from you.
Yep.
So what he has two pegs right here. And so I'm not going to feed it all back through, but you probably can't see it. But about a foot or so.
But that kind of, I've not seen that work before.
Yeah.
The
Well, it's the same principle as your
bobber stopper.
yeah, the little weight. I lost it. What's the little weights? Little crimp weights? Split shots.
Oh,
It's
split shots.
essentially
Oh,
the same
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
It's the same principle, except you just have a peg or two down here on the bottom of this little cylinder weight. Slides on there, and then you have a peg on top of it, and then you can adjust it accordingly if you need to go up or down or whatever. But yeah, that's how that's holding on, just in case you were wondering exactly what we were talking about.
Well, and
That kept it in place.
Right.
And the reason behind using, say, a weight like this that you feed your line through versus a split shot, okay, and I've told customers or clients that have gone out with me, two reasons we use these. Number one, a split shot can damage that fluorocarbon. I don't want anything compromising the integrity of this fishing line. Second thing is, remember when you grew up as a kid, we took two cans, string in between them, that was your telephone. Okay, but if you put a bend in that line or if you crimp that line, you couldn't hear anymore the other person. All right, same principle with filling the bite through this weight. Okay, this weight is not stopping you from feeling the bite on this jig going through this weight. You're still getting the sensation back to your rod tip. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Never thought of that before.
Yep. So crimping on I'm not saying the split shots don't work. People still use them. But when you're talking about the level that we're trying to do, chasing it, that's just little things that kind of matter sometimes.
Well, if it's not a real aggressive bite, luckily today it was because with the wind blowing the
and
wind.
sometimes you still don't feel it. You'll just see your rod tip load up. Or you may set the hook off of what you see on that screen. You'll see them go after the bait, strike at the bait, but they're actually coming up, so you never feel the bite, but you need to set the hook because on that screen you saw them bite, go
Yeah.
for the jig. So it's stupid. It's a lot though.
Yeah, it is. But I'm telling you, it was going to school this morning because I'm telling you, I went to school with that.
Yeah.
All my life, I grew up on Lake Darbone and ran over the top of fish at 60 miles an hour. That I
We still do
would've-
that.
Yeah. Well, I'm telling you, places we went today, I fished all my life and never would have fished exactly where we fished today to try to catch a white perch.
Well, we can thank Steve for that. That's old school mentality. He knew where the fish were and where the wind wasn't blowing.
Yeah, you got that call that we went to. And
Yeah, we went to it.
We didn't argue either, did we?
Nope.
look, I'm
No,
gonna,
we
I'm
didn't.
gonna tell you what was nice once we got there. So that's this. What Garmin graph is that, Mr. Steve?
That's 8616.
Okay. A monstrosity of a Garmin graph up there. And we just have it on just like the retail mode, just have something playing in the background so you can kind of see. We didn't quite see that today.
Well, that's at Boatwright Creek up Corny.
Oh, yeah. We recorded that yesterday. It wasn't today.
That's where it's at.
That was yesterday.
That'll get everybody off y'all's holes down here in the big
Yeah,
lake.
absolutely. Yep. But you have the MBT Marine,
I do.
the battleship, the 16-inch battleship.
Yep.
It was a very, very bad idea for me to come today and be in the boat with either one of y'all. I would have rather been in the boat with you because I know that I'm not about to spend the money on that, which is the best quality graph you could look at.
Well,
But
now they got a 9200 series out now.
really,
Oh yeah, that's old technology there.
well, that is bad. Look, that 126 SV that I have is amazing to me until I sat in there with that battleship. Dude, I had what felt like a 40-inch flat screen. I'm
Oh,
picking
yeah.
fish off with.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a very,
I mean,
very.
you fished with it. I thought that was great with what you have.
Are you talking about what I have?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a 12-inch screen. I mean, how many
Yeah.
you all said? I mean, a lot of people still fish with like the 93 SVs or
Oh,
like the
yeah.
9-inch.
I started with the 93 SV,
Yeah.
went to a 1222, then went to the 126 that you have, and just kept getting greedy and had to get bigger.
It's
and
for a
bigger
good
and
reason, man.
bigger.
I'm like I said, it was yeah.
Well, the people that I take, will tell me, look, I want to go fishing with you to get an idea of what I need before I go buy a Livescope. And I say, well, might not be a good
it's
idea.
not a good idea.
That's what do you mean? I said, well, first, before you get in my boat, figure out what your budget is. Then I'll cut everything off in here to show you what you can afford.
Yeah.
So,
And you come back with 2 bluegill brim and a shad, and then
yeah, because
Yeah.
if your budget is $3,000 and you're going to get in my boat and look at that kind of stuff, you're not going to.
you're not gonna be.
and
You're
that's-
never gonna be satisfied.
You're never going to be
No,
satisfied.
well, and that's
you know?
okay. Well, it's like killing a 180-inch deer
Well,
for your first deer, but
yeah.
but it's okay. It's,
Hey,
it's
the
perfectly
120.
fine.
There's nothing wrong with the 126 SV.
Absolutely not.
No,
I would fish with it, and it's got the other side of the coin is the 32 was supposed to be obsolete, but now they're still building it. The LVS 32, the 34 that Richard and I fished with today, it shows a lot of good definition, but I don't know that if he picked up on it, but a lot of times you will feel a bite and then you'll see the fish go. A split second, you'll feel it, boom, then you'll see it.
That's that delay, I was telling you
delay.
about. Yep.
But on the 32, you don't have that.
yeah, and I thought about that after you said it. That's I'm trying to remember the setting. The Livescope video with Randy, we talked about that, and he brought that up specifically. I don't. It's one of the settings in there that you can go and adjust. Is it the
You could turn your noise
No,
reject
noise
off.
reject.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So the high isn't the higher it is,
The
more,
slower.
Yeah, the slower.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So do you run yours off and you still have a delay?
No. See, I'm running a 32 LSV and I mean LVS, and I'm running my noise reject on high.
On the 32.
Yes, I like that
It
good
doesn't
clean.
affect the 32 like it does
No,
34.
But you have the 34, don't you?
I do as a backup, but I don't run it.
When you run your 34 with your noise reject off, do you still have that delay issue?
I don't think it's as bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to play with that more because I'm just still stuck on the 32. I'm just a 32 man. I just see it better.
Yeah.
But I need to play with the 34 more. But yeah, like you said, Randy did mention that turning your noise reject down or off, we'll make that delay go away.
Yeah.
I think so. It's a lot of different settings on each one that you can play with and do. And look, and that'll change from lake to lake, water clarity. I mean, it can change any given day.
So that's something that you're constantly.
I mean, our settings
one
are
place.
pretty universal for most lakes. Now, we don't fish a lot of clear water lakes, but I can say that like our settings are pretty normal for southern lakes, which are muddy water lakes, darker, tainted water, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Now up north in these big clear water lakes, man, they do something totally different. I probably couldn't catch a fish up there if I wanted to. You can drop this bait down 50 foot and still see it off the side of your boat. You know, so that's I don't know. That's different.
I select. If you'll notice right there, I've got them both rigged up, and they're both have a clear shot. But if I'm in timber like we were today in stumps, I'll run at 34. But if we pull out in a flat where I'm searching for fish and I'm moving it quicker, I'll kill the 34 and select the 32 on the screen.
Because of the wider band, or
Yes, it's less definition, but it seems to be quicker picking up an open water fish. It's easier to trail an open water fish. 34, I end up having to move it slower, but when I find one on a tree or a stump or a limb, I can see separation between the limb and the fish. 32 is a little bit harder to see separation. So I use them both. It just depends on where I'm fishing.
Yeah.
It's two icons on that 86 screen, and I'll hit. If I'm on the 34, I'll hit menu, transmit off, and then I'll close that. I'll go home, select other icon, go to menu, transmit on, and I'm running the 32.
Right there.
But you didn't do that today, though, did you?
No,
You just
we
kept it
stayed
on
in the stumps,
that? Yeah.
and I wouldn't trade nothing for this right here.
The sticker or the company behind it?
The sticker.
Yeah.
Fish obsessed. I bet you in the past week I've knocked that transducer off probably 25 or 30 times.
Wow.
I did it once today.
Yeah, you said you couldn't find your bait and you pulled it up and it was.
Yeah, I pulled the trolling
Remember,
motor
we've
up,
done it a few times today
clicked
too.
it back down, dropped it back in the water, and back going.
I need to get. Are those local guys or are they?
No,
No.
It's a company off somewhere.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. I bought mine over a couple of years. I've turned a lot of guys onto those things.
Yeah,
and-
well, William actually turned me onto it, and this guy is supporting my tournament this weekend.
Awesome.
The tournament would be over with, but he sent one for a 32 and one for. They have a bunch of different styles. I had to order a new adapter for the Quest. The Quest shaft is bigger than the regular Ultrex, so I kept the same. What's the name of the one that swings?
The bracket,
Yeah,
the Dominator bracket.
Dominator.
Yep.
The Dominator, and it's got a lifetime warranty on it too. So I mean, just run over them damn trees, just hit them.
Well,
I saw it. It kicked it off. You know where it didn't affect it at all.
Well,
Just
the
other
stock
than you have to
mounts
reset
with
it.
the Livescope, you're good. It's not if you're going to break them; it's when you're going to break them. And if you break one, how much are they to replace that plastic Garmin stock mount? $20, $30, $30?
no, I think
That's
I think like
$100. That's
$35.
$100.
No,
That top one is $100.
Just talking about the stock.
I'm talking about the stock Garmin
oh.
mount.
You know, I think it's like 36 bucks.
Okay,
from what I
so
remember.
these are like $140, $150. So
And we use 0 degree too.
yeah,
That's key. The deeper water you get,
yep.
you'll notice the opposite. If you got to 8 degree, when you get a fish right here, you may go through your beam like that. And your bait, you see your bait, all of a sudden you don't see your bait and the fish is still there.
I have that problem right now, so I need to take that sticker home with me and send them a message on Instagram. Literally, mine is cracked right now.
Well, that's
and my knob as well. My bracket
if you break
and my
3 or
knob
4
is-
of them, you could have already bought one, and that's a lifetime warranty with that.
Can I go get one and show you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they're well worth the money. Like I said, lifetime warranty. It's machined aluminum. Man, they bend and they articulate in so many different directions. And fishing, like you seen Darbone today, full of timber.
Yeah.
And stumps. And how many times did we hit them?
Yeah.
You know,
And look, with the wind blowing as hard as it was, it's
gonna
kind of
happen.
tough to control.
Mm-hmm.
it's going to happen. So
Now, is this mine to take with me? Did I win
for one low price, you know,
for $149.99?
He's supporting my tournament. Well, the tournament will be over. Let's see which one this
And
is.
look, and we're going to talk about that in just a few minutes.
34.
But while and what tournament is that, Steve? Tell everybody what it is that you.
That's the Crazy Crappie Cash. It's a big fish hourly tournament. Last year we had 86 anglers. This year it's a lot of hype. I'm hoping to get over 100 anglers. It paid over $20,000 last year to like 20-something different people.
Oh wow!
That?
yeah, your trolling motor shaft goes through here.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it breaks when it spins off that axis?
It's 2 axes.
It's here and here.
Oh.
That twists that away.
Ah.
And it's pretty tight right
Yeah.
now, but you're not gonna torque that down quite so bad.
Yeah.
And then it'll twist that away too. Yep.
Well, this one, can you feel it snap? Like, will this snap back in?
Yes.
To
Yep.
get it that way you
To-
know it's
to the
lined
back
up the
spot.
same?
Yeah,
Right.
Yep.
it'll go right back to the
Yep.
right spot.
Nice.
Yep.
I've got to.
It's
look
just
that up.
it's a smart investment, really.
Fish obsessed.
It really is.
Well, as much money as you spend on this stuff, why wouldn't you have something like this? And I've
absolutely.
known
Oh, that's
these
one of the
exist.
cheapest things that you have.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Let's
That's
see
awesome.
if it says where
I'm gonna
he's
give that
from.
back to you.
Yeah.
But the guy that owns the place, he's a heck of a nice guy too. He don't mind stopping and talking to you and telling
Nice.
you, and that's important. Service,
yeah.
service on all this stuff that we buy. Well, I don't see his address on here.
Yeah, we'll put him in the when we go and we
Yeah.
post this, we'll put that link in there. We need to figure out if they're DTC or direct to consumer. If not, we may try to get those at Spotted Dog. Try to sell some of them if they're not direct to consumer. Yeah, Mr. Fish Obsessed. We will we'll put your link in there and
Yeah, and we'll definitely reach out to
yeah,
him.
absolutely. That'd be really good. That's awesome. Again, my bracket is broke right now. I'm on my second one. It's broke, and my knob is broke as well.
So that's some good insider information right there with that bracket.
Yeah. So the tournament, where's it at? I guess that's the first
It'll
question.
be held on Lake Darbone this Saturday.
Okay.
And this
Mark-
Saturday, while we're doing this podcast, the tournament probably would have already taken
Yeah,
place
yeah.
before
We
this
can,
ends.
Yeah.
This is not for certain. We'll figure it out after, but we can push this episode. The episode coming this Friday. We could push it till the next one, and we can make this one air this Friday, and that would give you some good publicity for this too.
Well, William's
see.
already asking if I got the grand prize check. Grand prize is $5,000 for the biggest crappie.
It's such a great tournament.
And-
Who won the first tournament that you ever put on? I don't know.
Big,
I did.
Big Daddy,
Yeah, I did.
Big
Oh,
Daddy,
Big
I did. I can't remember.
Big Daddy Whetstone.
Okay.
What's the entry fees? I mean, you have my interest perked.
$125.
That's cheap.
Is that a team or an individual?
That's individual. There can be 2 people in the boat. Both of them paid, and for a national trail, the cheapest national trail right now is $350, and on that they guarantee $20,000. I think the winner won $7,500. On this tournament, it's $125, and we guarantee the grand prize. And I'm going to up the grand prize. The guarantee is $8,000, $5,000, $2,000, and $1,000. If we get to 86 entrants, I'm going to up to 4th place is $500, and 5th place will be a product. Probably something like that Monster Marine lithium battery over there. And then if you win the grand prize, you've also won an hour on 86 boats. First place each hour was $500. We paid 5 places every hour. It was $250, $170, $150 every hour. And so the right now I put a post out that based on 75 entrants, it's going to be right around $18,000 payout.
Wow.
If we get 100 entrants, if we get 107, first place each hour will be above $700.
Oh, wow.
Oh, it's a great chance.
What
to
are we
win
doing
some money.
Saturday, Richard?
I don't know, but
After a day like today,
I don't know.
what takes to win an hour, just on average? I mean, will that?
I'm
will
going to
one-
say if you catch a 1.8, 1.9, you've got
Yeah.
a great chance.
Yeah.
Like the one that Ryan caught today, a 1.9. That's
Yeah.
money fish this weekend.
And there'll be a text. I'll set up. The only way I can text 100 people is group me.
Yeah.
And so I'll set up a text with everybody's number. At 15 minutes before the hour, I will shoot a picture. I've got a big screen that goes on that tripod over. I'll shoot a picture of who's leading that hour, of the top 5 places, and I'll text it to everybody. So they got time. Yeah, I want to weigh this hour, or I don't want to weigh. Some people, if they got a good fish, they'll pull up and stage out there in the water and listen to what's going on. And then if they think they want, they'll come up, and there's a commitment line. If you don't cross that commitment line, you don't have to weigh. If you cross the commitment line, you got to weigh.
Yeah.
And if you got 2 fish in the boat, some people will come up and they'll jump on across the line at 2 minutes till. Then they'll weigh that fish. They'll wait till the next hour starts. They'll weigh the other fish, and then they got 2 hours before they have to weigh another fish. And they're essentially placing. We had one person last year that ended up winning $6,750.
Was that you, Big Daddy?
No, not last year.
Now, I'm going to tell you, that there's not, since you've been talking about this, I'm trying to think of a time where I don't remember a big fish white perch tournament, crappie tournament.
They have them in Texas. They have a crappie-thon. It's a big one. We actually got the idea. Brad and Shane come up with the idea, and then I'd been thinking about it, but they asked me to join in with them, and we fished a lot of the Sealy Big Bass Splashes. They're a spinoff of the old McDonald hourly tournaments.
That's right.
And the last one I fished had like 2,500 contestants for 3 days, and he guaranteed $515,000.
Good night.
$515,000. That's for a 3-day tournament. That's unheard of.
No, that's pretty strong. But there's a lot of entrance in that, too, that helps pay
If
for
we
that.
could get 500 in a crappie tournament, we could pay some serious money. I'm not in it to make money. I'm in it to pay all this back. I've got some great sponsors. The town has supported me. Ludwig's is a title sponsor. Ludwig Marine Tracker Boats is a title sponsor this year. Everybody in town has stepped up. I'm talking about the banks, insurance agencies, the local businesses, cooters. Everybody has stepped up. I wasn't even embarrassed to say I'm putting a crappie tournament on. Will you support it? And it does 2 things. It brings notoriety to the lake, and then it also brings tax revenue. And that, y'all, you're from here, Richard. You know Farmville, we need tax revenue. We don't have that much industry. We need to get our tax base down. We need no more spending. But look at Farmville. How long did it take us to get out from K&M today? I mean, have you ever seen so much damn traffic in a little town?
No, I can remember asking my mom. I said, "Look, Mama, where did these people come from?" I said, "It used to, it took just a hot second to get around Farmville. Now,
Oh,
look,
no.
you cannot get it in one line at the red light to turn right. That it doesn't go green twice before you get to.
Yeah, before you get up there. Yeah.
But look, but not only is it revenue for the town of Farmville, the parish, Union Parish, but Lincoln Parish too, because you're going to have some spillover. Farmville does not have the facilities to house that many.
That's correct. The infrastructure's not here. And that's the reason we can't get Bassmasters, or we can't wholly own MLF or stuff like that, is because of the infrastructure we have in this town. Lake Darbone's been a diamond in the rough, a secret of Farmville since you was born. And when was you born, in 63?
60. I appreciate that. No, I was born in 66, not 63. Holy cow.
Cutting him deep.
But you're right. But it's almost like Darbone was kept a secret on purpose. It was almost.
I believe you.
Don't tell anybody.
I believe you.
This is our lake, and it is our lake. When my daddy was alive, there's nobody that was more proud of Union Parish, and definitely no one more proud of Lake Darbone than he was. But it's not a secret anymore. It's a national. It's out there nationally, and
I think the national crappie trails actually put it on the map nationally too, because at one time it started off a few years ago, Crappie Masters being the premier one, and then Matt Morgan come out with American Crappie Trail. That was the elite at that time, and it got in the. Yeah, I think Darbone may be in the top 10. And then a couple of years ago, they listed it as number 3 in the nation. It may not be number 3, but it's in the top 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I see people every day coming to Darbone from Minnesota, Illinois, Ohio, all the northern states, plus Arkansas. They love to come here. I mean, we've got people that guide here on a regular basis, that call. They're from Arkansas. William, all his spare time, it's getting more and more popular every day.
Well, and there's some people. John Crow, which I grew up with as a little boy. He's our mayor now here, and he's done a fantastic job of trying to get whoever wants to come. Somebody may not want to come, but he's trying to get them to come anyway.
That's right.
I know that y'all and William, you and I kind of grew up together as grown-ups, I guess. Our children have played baseball through the years, and our families have been best friends for a while. And you moved to the lake, and now I know that you have a deep appreciation of it, and
absolutely,
and that's fun to see.
Yep.
But the channel markers, there's so many, and we want to talk about Livescope a lot too, but we're getting on something else I think that is pretty important. But the lake is since the timber has fallen, and we used to have real pretty old cypress trees that lined up there's not that anymore. So
Yep.
if you're not careful, but the channel markers now, you go across this lake at night and you see green and red flashing lights to where you can even navigate it at night. And
there's been a lot of work done to the. You see all the new floating buoys, especially up Darbone, and there was a lot of work done, and the Lake Commission gets hammered on a lot, but they've the boat ramp fees. That's a big sore for a lot of people in Union Parish. But everywhere I go off, I fish more on other lakes than I do Darbone. Everywhere I go, I pay a boat ramp fee, and that boat ramp fee is being used for improvements. Some at the maintenance, and I don't know if people know what gravel costs, but that gravel's $1,000 a load, and there was 10 loads put in at Jake's, and then people come out there and cut donuts in it, and somebody's got to go fix it. I mean, there's not money in the budget that I've seen to hire somebody to maintenance it. It's
So the city is not.
well, John Crow took ownership to maintenance, keep it clean. Jake's there. I call it Jake's boat ramp, but it's Highway 33, the north side boat ramp, and he's also cleaned up Ramp Road. We had a hole in it 3 or 4 weeks ago. He brought a load of that busted concrete out there and put in it. Now the Lake Commission is going to pour some concrete over to fill that hole up at the boat ramp. And there's work goes on that people don't see.
No, they don't appreciate it either.
They
Some folks don't. A lot of people do, but
Well, they fuss about paying the fee, and then they fuss about work
Torn
not
up
getting
ramps.
done, torn up ramps.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you know,
it's got to come from somewhere. But
if it was a Corps of Engineer, like, yeah, they would be keeping up, but who knows how much money is spent on a maintenance crew working full time there. And if somebody wants to gripe about it, do like I do. All those people out there that are Facebook warriors that gripe about it, get on your tractor, drive down to Terrell Island, and grade that damn rut out. I'll go down there and do this next week when I get free. I'll go grade it. I've graded it 100 times. I went down there, and Enviro sent me a brand new bulldozer and a brand new skid steer, and a concerned citizen sent me 7 loads of rock. Now, I just told y'all how much a load was. He sent me 7 loads of rock, and I graded it out, and I did all that by myself and fixed up. Yeah, the boat ramp is not the best, but you can't do nothing about it right now. The Lake Commission's talking about when the lake goes down, redo it, and see if something can be done about the drainage. But the individuals are helping keep the boat ramps up. The money is being spent on the lake that's collected, and I'm proud of them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's a beautiful lake, and that's really good to know that the money is being put. I don't think anybody really minds spending money when it comes to taxes or anything like that when they know it's being spent in a good way.
Hey, look,
I don't want it to be wasted.
I was born and raised here. I spent all my young life trying to get out of it at Union Parish. I spent all my adult life trying to get back. One of these days I'll make it back. I may move right up there next to you, William.
come on, we got room.
Yeah, your son said you was trying to maybe find somewhere over here.
No, we've got some. Where me and my brother grew up, we've got a house there. So
You need to buy you a boat before you come
look,
over
I'm
here.
gonna tell you, I may wind up having a Livescope
way
before I have the boat. I'm telling you, I'm so impressed with that. Me and Nikki may have to talk about that here before long.
Well, I know his daddy used to keep a boat all the time because his daddy, we was in a bass club and his daddy was a big part of it. And that's when I really got competitively fishing. And that was 40 years ago.
Yeah, a long time ago.
His dad, that whole neighborhood, ML, Joe, Cusimano, the whole neighborhood.
M.L. Graham. But I'm gonna tell you that those are some. That old bunch was they were so fun to be around. You know, I can remember as a little boy, they'd put you in jail for doing it now, but I saw those grown men line up right there at the Ruston Bridge, the Highway 33 bridge, and have a drag race after a bass tournament. Now I can't tell you what
Were they pulling boats when they were drag racing?
No, they were drag racing in the boat. And I know during the tournament, there was you couldn't drink anything during the tournament. I don't know what they had.
But they were watching their clock, and they
Yeah.
were.
I don't know what they had to think they should do a drag race. But anyway, they were so fun, and they were. You talking about some people that knew that lake. But I'm telling you, thank goodness the Livescope was not around back in those days. We wouldn't have anything.
We wouldn't have no fish.
What do you think they would think about it now?
That's cheating.
Cheating. That's exactly.
I mean, but that's most people think that. But
well, I'll tell you what, we'll invite them on a 50-degree, 20-mile-an-hour windy day, and come on out there and see if you.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you though.
We keep talking about that weather, but look, it is what it is.
It really was rough. We would not. Correct me if y'all think I'm wrong. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say we would not have caught 45 slabs today if we did not have forward-facing sonar.
I don't think you'd have caught 5 fish today.
I agree. I seen Richard catch one without it.
Well, and Ryan caught that one. He was actually going for another fish. Well, we didn't know if it was another fish. We got a pretty strong return and saw a little snag, and we thought it was a fish. And so he was going in for it. And a fish came out of the dang mud on the bottom. I don't know. It came out of nowhere and smashed.
Well, that's
smacked it.
That right there.
That's what happened to Richard. We was going for another fish, and he was holding a pole out. He just started.
No, don't say it like that. See, there was a little small twig coming out the water, and I threw up there beside it, and he nailed it.
Well, getting back to that, before forward-facing sonar on a day like today, we wouldn't have went fishing.
Yeah.
No, we really wouldn't.
No.
That's not true.
Maybe off your dock, but not.
Me and my brother. I can remember one Christmas. It was Daddy had bought us some rod and reels and some stuff, and it was probably 30-something degrees, and we had a 9.9 Evinrude out there on the back of a 14-foot aluminum boat, and we went all the way out to Forks Ferry in white capping.
Oh yeah,
and throwing jigging spoons. We stayed 15 minutes and come back, but it was too cold. But we had to go.
Yeah, but you were a lot younger then. I done it when I was younger. Now,
no, you're right. No.
Maybe this man over here, but yeah, I'm a little.
That's a young buck for you.
Not without a live scope, I'm not. I'm gonna tell you. Yeah, I can't even think about the podcast right now. I don't even know what we're going to talk about next. All I can think about is you saying, "Yeah, I'll give you MBT Marine. I'll give you his number. You can give him a call." I don't want to do that. That's all I think about. I'm like, oh, do I ask him? Do I get his contact and try to order one?
Let me ask you. So William, we'll start with you. What are your sponsors? Tell us something about some of the sponsors that you have.
Yeah, us, Steve and I know we get into tournament crappie fishing, and we're not looking to really make a living at it. We both are. He's retired now, lucky him, but I still have a career job that supports me and my family. And plus, my wife works her tail off every day. So, on the tournament trail, we just have these sponsors that we pick up, and they help us out with product. One of my first ones that ever approached me was K&M right here where we ate lunch at today. And they would help me out with certain things and some product in their store. But and I really appreciate them for that. But also, the second man that ever called me was Crappie Monster, and you got to know these Crappie Monster baits today.
Way too well.
Yeah. So my two go-to colors probably year-round is going to be the Ozark Smoke and this Dewdrop, which is a chartreuse basically. But Crappie Monster, they make some of the toughest baits that I've used, but really their profiles as well. And you can change their profiles up so much. You can bite these baits in half. You can split them, do what you want to do. And also, not only the baits, but Jeremy Magley has the Pro Series net that we used quite a bit today.
Yeah, that's
matter of fact, I got excited and threw it in the lake, and thank God it floated right next to the boat. Yeah. So
I thought y'all was dipping the fish.
Oh my goodness, no, it was crazy. But Jeremy is a good friend. He's a good supporter of a lot of guys, but he is another one of my sponsors. The rods that we were using today, that one that was just terrible in the wind, come from HH, Eric and Leanne Howard. They picked me up this year. I'm very thankful for them. The reels and the rods, we used a 16-foot Tsunami today, and I told you we had an 18-foot Assassin that I could have brought. But I'm going to tell you, last weekend in that hard wind, that 18-foot was kind of double back pointing towards the boat and trying to hold it in the wind. It was tough. So I've got H rods and reels. They supply me with rods and reels. I've got Crappie Monster baits. I've got K&M Coffee Corks and Camo. I got Ludwig Marine, man, Gary Calloway, Mitch, and the crew there. Them guys take care of me so much.
Mention and his brother, we went to high school together. We were raised together.
They're nuts, but they're special people, but they take care of my boat. They help me with any problem that I have, and I'm thankful for that. And, of course, MBT Marine, we worked out a deal last year. I was just going to buy one, and he asked me, so how would you feel about sponsoring MBT? And I said, absolutely, no problem. And it's the best choice I ever made. I haven't had not one single problem with that 16-inch graph. Now, it takes a little bit more to run that graph. You can't it's not just plug and play. You got to have a secondary 86 series graph to mirror that graph off of. But it's a cheaper way to get into a bigger screen. So, but yeah, I was really thankful for that. Golly, who else am I sponsored by? K9 Fishing Line. Yep. I think me and Steve both, we use, a lot of you anglers use K9 Fishing Line. I think I partnered up with them a little over 2 years ago. We were using a 14-pound fluorocarbon today, which 14 pound to me is just a good, strong, all-around fluorocarbon. You don't have to retie it as much. We used to use braid, but I found that certain times of the year the fish would pick up on the braid. I could see it. So why not just use fluoro year round?
But it was. I noticed it was real soft and pliable. It didn't have so much of a memory, and it wouldn't kink, and which was really important with the weather we had today.
Now casting, I'll use a lighter line, of course, 4 pound, 6 pound, 8 pound, just depends. But yeah. And of course, my wife with Travel Junkie, she supplies all my finances, for traveling and.
Thank you, Travel Junkie.
Yeah, thank you, Travel Junkie.
Well, he married way above him.
I outkicked my coverage by a long
I'm sure
way.
we all did.
Yeah.
If we posted pictures of our wives up, we'd probably all say that.
Probably true.
Yeah. Now I've seen a lot of videos of not so much crappie guys, but the bass guys using the battleship and
it's taking off.
Is it the destroyer?
You've got the 16-inch battleship, then you got the 22-inch destroyer.
Yeah, man,
which is like a. Yeah. I think in that wind today, we could have got up to about 30 miles an hour with the wind pushing us like a sail.
Yeah, no joke. But that 16, man, it's better fishing with it than what you would think it would. That 16-inch graph.
Well, the 86 series really, I'm not going to say it's the top of the line now because they have a 9,000 series graph out, but the 86 series is one of your top of the line, graphs that you can get, and it's just taking everything you're seeing on it and putting it on that screen,
Yeah.
So, but it's taking it from 12 inches to 16 inches.
Yeah, and that doesn't sound like it's a whole lot, but you have a 126 sitting right behind, or I guess technically in front, but orientation of the boat, but it's right behind your battleship, and I'm telling you, that 126, which is what I have on my boat, that's only have one graph on the front, and it is small, real small relative to that battleship.
Yeah, that's what messed you up all day. You could see what you had, and you could also see what you wanted.
Let's move on, Richard. What other topic do we have? We need to talk about something else because I'm going to spend way too much money by the end of this podcast.
Well, Steve, tell us some of the guys that have brought you here.
Well, Kenny Cobbett, he bought Cooters and redone it, and I really want to see Cooters succeed, and they've done well. They're a small town bait store, but here recently with K&M making their decision, Cooters is really coming on strong. He's increased his inventory some. He's added some extra tanks for live bait, and Cooters. I've been pushing Cooters, and he supported me since I started. Since I retired and started getting after the competitive trail. And Lugwitz is. I've been buying boats from Lugwitz for a while, and like William said, it's not. You can buy a boat anywhere. But that service that we get with Gary, Roy, the whole team out there, Tyler. I mean,
Yep.
if I was in a bind, I believe they would come and help me if it was at midnight. I'm not going to, because I do. I'm not sponsored, but I am sponsored in a way because
Yes, you are.
they treat me special, and so
There's probably a lot of people that feel like they're sponsored from them.
yeah, and
It's a friendship, and it's just,
Yeah.
and they're just so quick to help.
And they have 2 locations too. They have one
Mon-
here
Yeah.
on the lake and
One in Monroe.
one in Monroe
Yep.
on 165.
which I've been loyal to them, and they're loyal to me. I mean, if there's any way they can help me, they help me. And then I also use Crappie Monster. My favorite baits are the critter baits. I had one tied on day, and but the critters look like they got a tail on it. They're about this same profile, except they're wider in the back, like a beaver tail. And I can tear those tails out to make it as small as I want it. And then the hair jigs I've been fishing is Born to Tie. Scott is a local guy. He's tying a real good hair jig. Actually, he's fixing to come out with a Old Steve signature series.
Oh, boy.
my goodness.
Oh, man. I'm
Here it
telling you.
comes.
That's old Steve.
That's old
right
Steve
there.
right there.
Okay.
And Old Steve is fixing to have a signature series.
Okay.
And that's a talented man, too. He ties some
Yeah.
beautiful hair.
Is
jigs.
it West
If
Monroe?
I'm not mistaken, I've seen
out
that on
towards
Facebook.
Calhoun,
maybe.
Okay.
I believe.
Yeah.
Nobody can say his last name, but we just Scott, Born to Tie. You know,
Yeah, Scott
Belkowitz. Or
Belkowitz.
something like yeah. He is talented, though. Good
Yeah,
guy, too.
and
Super
he's a
guy.
good guy. He's a real good guy. But I'll use him. I get some help from YOLO Tech. I always be recording. Christian is a great guy. He's out to promote the industry, and I've been trying to do a lot of videos and stuff. And like I was telling you, the editing program I was using is real complicated, so it kind of deters me from posting more than I post. And I'm real interested in what you was telling me about looking into that, because if I take a bunch of clips, it may take me a week to get it edited and put together, and that's no fun.
No.
And you tend not to do stuff that's not fun.
Right.
But I don't have a rod sponsor. I use H&H. They got a green rod that's go against anything. It's called a War Pig, 13.5 foot.
Is that one you had in the boat
Oh,
today?
yeah.
At 13.5 foot,
That's H&H or HH?
HH.
Yep.
And I've tried some of the Josh Jones Dobbins rods. I like them. That's what we was using today, those 14 footers. They're coming out with a 15 foot. I've got a friend that his wife is a female veteran-owned company. It's called 1039 Rods. They're developing a prototype that they're fixing to send me. It's a 15-foot 1039. I'm going to try it. If I like it and we can come to some deal, I may be fishing for 1039. But also, in the past, I've had great luck with B&M. B&M is always a solid rod. They got the blue diamond. They got the black diamond. Well, you seen that 18-foot that Charlie left here. I mean, that's a monster back there. If you're on Darbone and you ain't got 18-foot, well, today we couldn't have used it.
No,
Just
it'll
too
wear
much
you out
wind.
today. Yeah.
The Jinko's got they got good bass stuff now too. I don't do a lot of bass fishing, but I keep up with it. Jinko's got that X13, that X15. I've kept one of them in the boat and then some that I like. I've got a 17-foot machine and a 15-foot machine, and those are good, light, strong rods. Pound and a half, 2 pound fish. You just bring him on in the boat. Don't worry about a net. Just
Look, and that's something else too. I both of you, here I am trying to. We always used to worry about how tender
Paper mouth.
A crappie's mouth was. Well, not one time did you get a net from me, and you said, "Pull him on in." Well, you know, when you get that much rod up there and that heavy of a fish, I'm thinking this thing's going to break in half.
When it loads up and that fish breaks surface, it's going up or in. It's coming.
Yeah,
it's coming.
That was. I might have been more impressed with that today than anything I saw.
And I grew up the same way you did with paper mouth. You know, be careful. But fishing now, if I was in a tournament, I'd have the net laying there.
Oh yeah,
I'd want to make sure. But if I lose one right now, I'll just. But when he breaks the water, I'm going to be looking at his mouth to see where he's hooked.
That's okay.
I think we lost one today that pulled out, but I'll look at that mouth, and if I get him skiing, he's coming in the boat or over the boat. Yeah. If I miss him, he's going on the other side, and I'm coming back the other way. So.
He set the hook one time. I could have swore he had a bass jig out there, and a 5-pound bass with some thick cover. Boom.
Oh, did you get to witness Steve's hook set?
Yes, I did. That's
I didn't get it.
Oh my!
I didn't see it.
When he's setting the hook, you better bow down and get out of the way.
Look, that crappie's eyes were turned in, just like he jerked him cross-eyed, boy.
Well, I'm trying to think of his name that owns K9. Do you know his name?
Yep, but you shouldn't have asked me.
I talked to him, and he's actually product sponsor for the Crazy Crappie Cash. But in that, he sent me some line to try.
Kelly Albert.
Kelly
Albert. Yep.
And he's a heck of a nice guy.
Yep.
And the first thing he asked me, he said, "Why should I sponsor you?" And I had to tell him why, that I was looking for 100 anglers, and it would showcase his stuff. And then he told me about the line. This is 10-pound fluoro right here. He said you can go buy. I was using Trilene XL. Trilene XL, after a couple trips, I got a couple 3,000-foot rolls over. I'm throwing it in the trash can, railing some new on there because it develops a memory. It's a bigger diameter. He told me, he said, try these lines and you won't see that memory. You won't see the diameter. The diameter's smaller. He said it's more than just fluorocarbon. He said there's a lot of work put into this line. So I'm trying it right now. That's what we were using today.
Yep.
And I've been sad. I bent some hooks.
Oh yeah.
Pulling these jigs off of stumps and stuff.
We pulled a few loose today.
We pulled some,
and we never broke the line. We never broke the line.
Nope, not one
now, I'm not
time.
saying we don't from time to time, but because a lot of our hooks that we're using now are mustad steel hooks. They don't bend.
That's one thing we've gotten away from the sickle hook and going more to
a steel hook,
steel
J
or a
hook.
mustad.
Yep.
Something like that. And that's what sets my signature hair jigs apart is going to be the hooks. Some secret colors are going to come out, but the hooks too.
Boy, I can't wait for that. I'm telling you.
Are you going to give us? You going to drop one? You going to let us give us a little tip on one?
I got some in the boat. I could.
He can't show them. There's a tournament coming up. He can't show them.
After the tournament, but podcast number 2 with this, we'll know. By then, we would have had the inside
I'm trying
track.
to decide if I'm going to fish this weekend or not, and if I am, I may have to slip in the back of that boat before I leave. Well, there's a lot of really good products that I'm not a big crappie guy. I love to bass fish, and I love to crappie fish too. But I'm going out there with one of the probably cheaper rods that I bought from the store, and a little spin cast, and never change the line out on it. It's the complete opposite from what I do with my bass stuff. But there's some really good companies that back you on some stuff, and that makes me want to look into it.
Well, I'm sure Steve will agree with this. Now, I say 10 years ago, there was some Premier rods, some B&M and probably Huckabee. Really today, nobody makes a terrible jig pole. Nobody makes a terrible reel. Nobody really makes bad line, bad baits. So for me and Steve, and I'm sure he'll agree with this, Eric and Leanne, they're friends. You know, Jeremy Mattingly is a friend of ours. Gary and Mitch and all them at Ludwig, there's other boat mechanics in town, but they're friends, and they take care of us. So it's more than just, here's a product.
Yeah.
It's the people that's behind the product that really just we developed a friendship with. But for the normal consumer, you know, you really can't go wrong with anything. But we have confidence in these materials too, you know.
And when you make an investment,
yeah, that's an investment.
Was this the beatdowns?
That's an investment.
All right, tell me, I have zero idea what I'm looking at.
This is what the telescoping.
This is what your graphs go to, what you were staring at all day. That's what they're mounted to. Yep.
Okay.
This is what allows you to go across a lake with 20-mile-an-hour headwind, 3-foot rollers, and your graph doesn't go anywhere.
I see.
Yep.
Well, that's heavy.
Yeah,
That's
it is.
heavy duty.
I didn't know they were that heavy.
Ooh, yeah. But they
In that kind of,
you start across Grenada in about a 4 or 5 foot chop, and you ain't got that graph. You may be buying a new graph.
you know, William, you did something today that never even dawned on me. You know, with a large boat like y'all fish out of, you know, the boats that y'all fish out of, you see on the BASS deal, 21 foot, 250 horsepower, motors on the back. This boat sits high in the water, has a high profile, and wind just will hit it and drag it across. William, you had to wait not only water in your hull, but also artificial weight out in the front. Set the boat lower profile in the water, in the wind. I'm not to say the wind didn't affect it, because it did. It affects everything the way it did today, but not as bad as.
Well, it's kind of a secret. You weren't supposed to let that out. You know?
Beep. We'll edit that out.
well, no. What'll happen before then, you'll see it. And now, from our sponsor. And then that part never will get aired right there.
A word from our sponsor, Sack Creek.
Well, he'll have her shirt, Team Sack Creek, on the back of it next time.
You watch in the next couple of years, we'll be as bad as those wake boat. We'll have bladders up there that you just flip a switch and it's going to pump water in your boat, weight it down, and settle your boat out there. If it helps, it's going to happen.
That's right.
Well, the deal is, why are we doing all of this? Why are we using this and these long rods and weighing our boats down and throwing paddles out the back and brakes on the back, 3 trolling motor? We're doing this because these crappie they're advancing in the way that they know we're coming. So you're going to get one good shot at catching that trophy fish, maybe 2. That's it. And this is the tournament side of it. The weekend angler, this is silly. You don't have to have all this. But the tournament side of it, we're looking for that edge.
Yeah.
We need that edge.
I mean, you can catch 7 fish, 5 fish.
Most of them are 5 now.
5,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, most
you're
are
not
5.
after
Yep.
a sack full of pound and a halfers. That's not
So
what
what
you're
we
after.
caught today, me and Steve's driving over most of them.
Yeah.
You know, looking for that big return.
That's hard. That's hard to do when you grew up catching eaters to bring home and clean and cook for the family. It's hard to drive over them. That's a feat in itself, learning to pass up the smaller fish and just look. When you know, I was talking this morning about you need to catch 1 every hour and a half. Well, you go 2 hours and don't catch a fish, you start wanting to, hey, there's a fish, I'm going to catch him. And that's a hard in competition to do.
Yeah. Well, I've said it the last podcast. He's going in there. I said it the last podcast, but I catch less fish with the Livescope. Most of the bass, what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Strictly bass, what I'm talking about. Definitely not crappie. But I catch less fish, but they're bigger.
Correct.
Yep.
And that's just me. And I'm going to go back to say this. I'm going to say that you're wrong on something. You're right about everything I've heard you say so far.
I'm wrong a lot,
Except,
trust me.
no, except this.
I'm wrong a lot.
You said that the weekend warrior doesn't need, that's going to be me. I got to go fish during the week, which doesn't happen a whole lot, but that's because I'm shooting content for Spotted Dog, for this podcast and everything else. But I'm a weekend warrior, like a once or twice a weekend warrior kind of thing. But I want this kind. I may not need it, but I want this kind of stuff because when I go out there, I need my stuff to work, and I need it not to break. And so just like that Fish Obsessed, that bracket, that breakaway bracket, I need that because I'm this close to the only thing holding my transducer on my Ultrex is is that just that bracket breaking. Like it's close. That wire is going to be the only thing holding on if I don't hurry up and get one of those. Yep. And then this, I don't have the beat down. I have mine set up really for bass fishing. And so I have the deck, like I think you have, or one of you have it maybe on your console. Is it decked or what's
the dash mount.
Yeah. So I have one of those.
Yep.
It's for the front up there, but I have one of those. But I mean, I'm telling you, this thing right here, this is heavy. It is way heavier than what I thought. But
I know for a fact that myself and Steve, everything that we're showing you, we have beat the snot out of it.
Yeah.
And have tested it.
Yeah.
If you're bass fishing, let me show you this. Okay, that would be a crappie fishing right there. If you're bass fishing, you can have it where you're standing right there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's right there where you can see. The older you get, it's important.
Yeah.
Being able to see. And this one, if you want to take your graphs inside, somehow or another, this loosens up. And
it'll come out of the base.
Okay.
Yeah.
I went the wrong way. I don't use it.
Well, it's operator error.
Yeah.
But it does work.
Yeah.
It comes out of here.
Yeah.
I promise you. One way or the other. There it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's got a keyway in it.
Yeah.
But I can tell you this: when you start, just say with that, it's a domino effect. You're going to go from that to that to that to that to that. Yeah, it's an obsession. You know, it's a domino effect. And once you start down that path, be careful. You know. But
and good equipment is important. I mean, if you're going to spend your money, you don't want to buy something that's $150 that you're going to have to replace in a year. And when I bought that new boat, most of my equipment come off the old boat and went on the new boat because it's quality equipment.
Yeah.
That Ultimate that I've got on that boat, if you go to Beatdown website and look at the early pictures that they have, it's a picture of that graph mount right there. We got together and made a double stack on the Ultimate. It's not the quick release, but I like it. And that picture's on there, and that's the same one I've had on 3 boats.
Wow.
I wouldn't trade it right now. It's got some wear up and down, but hey, it's solid as a rock.
Yeah. How much are these?
I know the big one is like $675.
Yeah.
There's a lot of machining in it.
Yeah.
I don't know. This one's probably in the 500, 400, 500 neighborhood.
Yeah.
But that one up there is. This is I had it on 20, the 21, and this one. Yeah, it's the 3rd boat. I mean, so it's cost me hardly nothing if you break it down over the years.
Mm-hmm. For it to still hold up like it has.
Yep.
Because you are going through some big stuff.
Oh, yeah. And that's a lot of money. I know what you're saying. Oh, that's a lot of money. But you say that graph right there, Steve, is how much new? $6,000?
$6,000.
So you're going to put $6,000 on a $100 mount?
Yeah.
Come on. You know?
Yeah. No, you're not going to.
No.
What is it, pup? He's probably saying that's our wives hollering at us.
Yeah, that may be right.
Well, no, we are an hour and a half in.
That quick, huh? Just
that
like
quick,
the day flew
just
by.
like
I'm
that.
telling you, this day started for me at 5:30 this morning. I'm telling you, and it's after we ate lunch. I said, "Man, if we could take about a 2-hour nap right about now." But then the rest of this kind of went by pretty quick.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how much fun I had with it today.
Yeah, this was fun.
I'm gonna tell you, watching those crappie turn up toward that jig, and here they come, and sometimes they committed, sometimes they'd hit it, and you'd see them go all the way back down to the bottom, and they'd come back up or go to some structure out there. That was,
Yep.
Yeah, you would say, a lot of times you'd say it under your breath, like, she's going to posture. She's about to posture up.
Oh, man.
And dude, when you would say that, you would just almost say it up under your breath sometimes. And baby, I'm telling you, I got freaking worked up, son. I got excited. I was looking at that screen. It would go from sitting like this to sitting up like that. You see it working.
Nothing excites me more to watch that big old fish just back up a little bit, and she'll be fluttering, just posturing up, just waiting. And you know she's fixing to break loose. And, man, I'm holding my breath, and I'm just, if she don't hurry up, I'm going to pass out. You know, I'm just waiting.
Breathe.
Come on. Yeah, just come on.
well, sometimes you may have to look away.
Yeah.
Because if not, it's like frog fishing. I think sometimes if you see it, and she goes, and she may miss it, but you set the hook and it's out of there then.
I had a best friend years ago. I took him to a little lake up in Arkansas, his first time viewing Livescope. And, man, we were on some monster crappie, big crappie. So he would drop his bait down, and he would see the fish posture up and get ready to bite. Well, he would start jerking long before she ever tried to bite the bait. I said, look, next time that happens, close your eyes. Don't just look away, close your eyes. What are you talking about? I said, you'll catch a lot more. That fish is trying to kill itself, but you just keep pulling the bait away from it, you know?
Yeah.
I said, just close your eyes, let's let it happen. Oh, it was comical. He just started jerking, and the fish was chasing his bait all around trying to bite it. And I'm like, dude.
Just keep it hard, cat and mouse, playing hard to get.
Oh, man, it's tough.
So if someone wanted to have a day like they had today with you out there on the water,
Yeah.
hopefully not in this weather, but clearly you showed, both of y'all, you showed us that you can get on them even in this kind of weather. So if someone wanted to book a trip with you, how they go about that?
Well, let me start by saying that I do this part-time for my career job, and I'm going to back that up by saying D'Arbonne is not a guide-friendly lake a lot of times. So don't think that you're going to call one of us and come out here and slay 100 crappie in a day.
Yeah.
You know, it's tough. So, you know, but I will take you out, and we're going to have a great time like we did today, and we're going to catch every fish that we can possibly catch that the law will allow. And we're going to laugh and cut up. And if you want to do that, you can look me up on Facebook, William Whetstone. That's Whetstone. I've got it pinned at the top of my page. Or you can call me at 318-355-0063. I'm licensed and insured crappie guide right here. And I guide only on D'Arbonne. I don't venture off. If you want to go, you know, somewhere, other lakes, say, you know, there's so many guides up here in North Louisiana and great guides. If you don't want to fish here, I can send you, you know, to another lake or another guide if you'd rather try something new.
Yeah.
You know, it's all about helping one another. So,
yeah. And you don't guide, do you?
No, actually, I don't. But once a year we have Louisiana Legislator Tournament. William participates in it, and all the local fishermen help us. We bring Chris Turner, our representative, brings legislators up, and they have a get together, and it showcases North Louisiana. And we bring them out in the morning, and from 7 to 11:30 something, we go out and catch a few fish, and we'll go back to the fire station. The firemen cook for us, and it's a heck of an event. But I do that, and Kenny at Cooters has asked me about helping with some veterans events, and then William and I helped the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier showcase at Travels.
oh, that was special too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We took those guys out and fished and stuff like that.
Big Fish Kids Camp we done.
Yeah,
this
we done the
past
Big
year.
Fish Kids Camp.
Took kids fishing.
How about
At the
that?
state park. We spent a week out there going out every day and teaching them how to cast and all about fishing. And
And let me tell you the challenge. You want to walk down a pier with about 20 kids with rods and hooks slinging like this.
Now, is it a single hook or is there treble hooks?
Doesn't matter.
it
It doesn't
was-
matter. They all feel the same. It doesn't matter.
yeah, that was a big event this year.
Oh, it was a blast though.
And then I think my name got thrown in the hat last week. Yours probably too, from Mitch. They was having a benefit for a school, and they was raffling some guide trips off. And
Yeah, I donated one to OCS. Mitch
I
called me
think I
about
got voluntold. I had one sold.
it. Yep. Yep.
That's two good guys to go do it with, though. So
Yeah, we enjoy it. You know, I know Steve and I, just speaking because we're here, just me and him, we enjoy, just like today, you know, quality time with friends and family and strangers, you know, taking them out, because what brings people together better than just going fishing?
Yeah.
You know, that's like the old country song says, you know, we're doing more than fishing, you know. So that's what it's about. And I think a lot of people are losing sight of that. You know, it's so competitive now. We live in such a competitive world. Just to get back with the community and kids and friends and family and just hanging out, you know. I mean, if me and Steve were doing this for the money and for the income, we'd have been done a long time ago.
Hey,
you know,
all them winners don't need to talk about me, because if it weren't for me paying their winnings, they wouldn't have no trail.
That's right. You are a strong contributor to that.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
That's probably how I will be this Saturday if I come fishing.
no. But we better not see you in our secret hole over here.
I ain't promising anything, boys.
it will be tough going by that spot. Let's just try it one time. And
Yeah.
Well, here's one thing. My partner insisted that we open it up to bank fishing this year. So I hadn't seen nobody sign up yet, but it's open if you want to go sit on a 5-gallon bucket on Ramp Road. And I'll tell you this, Saturday when I was tying my boat down on Ramp Road, there was a man and his wife sitting in front of a truck, and he had a cork right out there by the moss. He couldn't have been over 4 foot out in the water. And while I was tying my boat down, I seen him backing up, and he drug a 2-pound crappie up on the road, right there on Ramp Road this last Saturday. So
You won't be able to get another boat on Ramp Road after this podcast airs.
or another vehicle. Either.
John Crow saying, "Oh my God, I got to get some more gravel out there. I got to repave that road."
Hey, but you just got to remind those folks, hey, look, you have to have a fishing license to fish off the bank
Oh,
too
yeah,
now, so
yeah.
you got to
bet.
have it.
That's easy pickings for a game warden just sitting on the side of the road.
Oh,
fishing.
Yes,
yeah.
it is. Well, Steve, look, we appreciate both of y'all putting up with us today. And like you said, you know, it's more than just competitive. It's about friends and family. And when our boats were side by side and we're trying to catch the same fish, that was the most fun picking back and forth. I really enjoyed that.
I did too, because I was the one catching this fish.
Yeah, I guess so.
I wasn't going to bring it up, you know.
He said, "Here you go, Richard. You got him." Oh, never mind. That's the camera guy.
That jig dropped down, that white perch turned up, and I'm looking at my bait way over here, and he said, "Jerk on him." I'm jerking, mine's way over. There's nothing on it anyway. That's his bait.
Oh, Nolan, he's over there bowed up on it.
Oh, that's good stuff.
That was fun. But
Richard ain't gonna, he's not
Yeah,
gonna
I
ask me
seen
back.
the crappie was going the wrong way when he was coming up.
That's a
He
big
wasn't
son
coming
of a
towards
gun.
my boat.
no,
That's good stuff.
but we appreciate you too, Steve,
Yeah.
for sharing your shop with us. And,
Absolutely.
It's been a long time since I've been over here, so and visiting with you. So I've thoroughly enjoyed it, and I enjoy going back through old memories too. So I have a double reason to enjoy it. So
Well, today was a good day.
Yep.
Today was. I'm very sad that it's
hey,
over.
look, it happened so not long ago.
You still smell the fish?
I still have fish on my hand.
I know. I got a divot. How many of those white perch you let me take?
It means you won't. It means you
Don't-
want to clean.
Don't tell me that, baby. Don't tell me that.
Well, I'm thinking maybe needs to be a sequel to this podcast, you know, part 2.
Oh,
maybe.
there will be part 10 to
Okay.
this.
Hey. It's just going to
As
get
long-
better from here on
as
out.
As long as we get to come out here and fish like
Oh,
that, and I
yeah.
get to keep stealing his fish out from up under him. Look, I was trying to get that 16-foot jig pole up under your boat one time. I was trying. We were going, and y'all were sitting on top of some fish. He's like, "Dang, they're up under the boat." I was like, "Oh man, do I do it? That's a brand new, pretty thing. I don't want to scratch it, but it'd be fun to steal another fish from Richard." I did.
Hey, I don't care.
No, it was good. No,
Put,
we'll
it,
do
put
this.
it in the boat, baby.
Yeah. Well, I will do my very best to get this podcast edited and get it out, and then we'll see how quick we can get it out. Normally, our air date is on Fridays, and that's when we publish stuff. I'll see how quick we can get it out. We may blast this one out, and then I got some pictures for you and your sponsors, and some videos and all that kind of stuff that I need to get you as well, so you
Okay.
can
Yep.
share with everyone. But
Yep.
I appreciate it. This was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it. I sure did.
All right. Make sure to check us out at SpottedDogSportingGoods.com. Some of these brands we don't carry, but that may change. We may try to.
It very well may change.
We may try to reach out. There's some great guys, and that's who we like doing business with is good people, and clearly that showed today. But until then, we only have 8, really 7, because this one is probably going home with me.
Is this the product spotlight part of the show? Is that what this is?
This is the ending on a good note. So if you want a limited edition Mossy Oak Bottomland camo turtle box, they may be sold. I mean, we only have, again, this is number 8. There's 7 more, and they may be gone by the time this airs.
There were 7 more yesterday afternoon. They just came in yesterday
Yeah,
afternoon.
they just came in.
Yeah.
So we only got 8 of them is all we could get. So if you want your limited edition speaker that floats and is waterproof and lasts 20 plus hours and sounds killer. We were listening to Stranglehold on the way back.
That was awesome.
Yeah, that was good. They got me fired up. I was freezing cold and I wanted to go back.
Stranglehold. That doesn't come on my radio. I don't know what that is.
You listen to what, like Lil Wayne, all that, Eminem.
John Wayne. I don't know who Lil Wayne is either.
All right, SpottedDogSportingGoods.com. Check us out. Free shipping on orders over $99, and we'll be reaching out to some of these other product manufacturers and companies and see if we can try to
and
work
in the
something
future
out.
too. Let's just go ahead and we're going to have some giveaway stuff too.
Yeah.
Before long, so I'd be looking for that too.
Yeah.
Through the website and Facebook also.
Yeah, and we do all kind of good stuff all the time, but that's where we go and post the deals and sales and stuff like that. The most is on Facebook at Spotted Dog Sporty Goods and Instagram. But again, the website.
Drive down to
You
Highway
drive
165 South Columbia. It's I-20. It's 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, and I promise we're trying to wrap this up, but we tell this to sponsors, potential sponsors, even y'all. What was I don't remember all the last episode. The last Livescope episode that we did, was it like 40 something or 50 something % was out of Texas? Is that what it was?
Oh yes, I didn't know where you headed.
Yeah, the viewers, the people
that's
watching
right.
it and
That's
listening
right.
to it was out of Texas. 40 or 50% was out of Texas, and there was like I think 30 something % in Louisiana, 40 something %. My math's gonna be wrong on this. It's not gonna add up to 100, but 40-50% in Texas, and then the other was. I mean, we had people in Michigan. We had people from Germany. I kid you not, listening to it. So,
Well, they must not had anything to do.
they must not had anything else to do. They were trying to see what these goofballs are up to. But we have people listening from all over, and sales that shows that people here listen to the podcast and go in and ordering some stuff. So
Yes, we appreciate it. We work hard at bringing it. That's
it's a great thing you guys are doing. I think
it's
Absolutely.
fun. Well, and y'all too. We couldn't have had this day without you two gentlemen.
No. Without y'all's participation, no, we definitely couldn't do it.
So, Steve, if we get friend requests on Facebook from Germany, we need to accept it.
That's right.
They're trying to book a guide here in North
Yeah,
Louisiana at Lake
they're googling
Garbone.
old Steve fishing baits. They're googling that right now.
That's about to be a hot search. Old Steve.
Now, I don't know what kind of crappie they have over there, but
All right. Well, good deal, guys. Thank you all for coming on. Richard, I'm glad you made your debut.
hey, look, we'll do it more often. We get Michael on here. We'll get into his wheelhouse too. He's got a brand new boat with Livescope
That
and all
thing's
that
fine.
too.
I'm seeing a
Yeah.
spotted dog tournament maybe coming up. Just an in-house tournament, fun tournament for the podcast.
That would be fun.
That would be fun.
That would be fun.
Put a little skin on the line, maybe a turtle box. I don't know.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh no! You just talking about for like we shut it down for a day. We just have a little tournament.
Well, yeah, but you got to have something you're shooting for.
You gotta have something at stake.
I'm
That's
in,
right.
if Fish Obsessed, if they're in on one of the sponsors and they'll donate something, I'm in.
Hey.
Your boy at NBT Marine, I'm in if he's going to sponsor. HH Reels, Rider
There you
Reels,
go,
I'm
tell
in.
him.
Yeah,
Could
I'm
be
in.
something to look into,
Yeah, that'll be the next episode. We'll
William.
talk about that.
Next time I see you with the sponsor shirt on, Team Christie. That's what it ought to be on the back.
Yep. Well,
You need to have it.
yeah, she's my biggest sponsor.
We'll write it in a Sharpie.
I got on my forehead right here, Team Christie.
There you go.
That would be okay.
Yeah.
I want to see it.
All right, let's break down. I got a cute little 2-year-old boy I'm ready to go see, and a smoking hot, curly-headed pregnant wife. I'm about to go check them out. So, all right, thank you guys so much for listening. And guys, thank y'all for taking us out fishing. It was a lot of fun.
You're welcome.
You bet.
All right, bye y'all.